So let me provide a little bit of context before we get to the main issue. After the divisive season 8, a lot of people gave D&D the label of D&D, and I think with very, very good reasons. And after season 8, a lot of other media, whether films, books, or television shows, were starting to be compared to season 8. Sometimes the parallel made sense, sometimes the comparison made sense. And now people are telling me that the multiverse of madness is such a case that once again, season 8 disease has struck, and that we have here genuine character assassination, and it's directly parallel because what they do with Wanda is what they did to Daenerys in season 8. They turned her into a crazy, moronic, evil woman and just destroys and kills innocent people all over the place and negates her entire story from the early MCU, just like Daenerys in season 8 negated all the good stories. Like it or not, and again, I don't want to admit this, but D&D did do some good stories early on. They did some good Daenerys stories early on. I'd have to recommend those stories. But I'm not a Daenerys fan. I never really liked Daenerys in the books. I don't like Daenerys on the show. I just didn't care about her story. I felt really bored. I thought they just took too much time with her. I didn't really care about her. I don't care about her motivations. I don't care about Daenerys. I do agree season 8 was really terrible. I do agree it was character assassination. And I do agree that what they did with her was horrible and horrific and terrible and should not go unpunished. I believe all that. But I also believe let's not panic and let's not be stupid or crazy and start labeling things that are not season 8 because it gets you a few clicks. I don't think that's helpful. I think that diminishes what did happen with season 8 and why the fans were so disappointed. There's really two levels to what's going on. There's the politics of season 8, which is one thing, and a lot of female fans have problems with that. That's fine. And then there's the aesthetics of season 8. And that's, I think, what most fans care about. It's the aesthetics. Daenerys going crazy or killing children, to me, frankly, is not out of character. And if you haven't been blind and have been reading the books, I think they planted the seeds for that very clearly. And Dance with Dragons is anticlimactic, so we don't know, but I do think that's the path that George is going down. And frankly, he's stealing Frank Herbert. This is what they did with Paul. Paul seems to be a hero, but warning, he's not really a hero. He has a much more evil side to him, and that emerges in the later novels. In fact, I was just going through Children of Dune, and I think it's a very effective story when it's done well. But it wasn't done well in season 8, and I understand it tainted a lot of other people trying the same trope. Even though I don't like most of the MCU, and I've been skeptical of Kevin Feige, and the first Strange was horribly stupid and politically I can't stand it. It was racist, it was fascist, it was sexist, and it was just dumb. It was a really dumb story. I don't like the performance by Benedict. I don't. But I have to reluctantly say that this is really good Strange. Multiverse of Madness is a really good film. It's a really good horror film. And in terms of Wanda going crazy and evil, well, again, if you saw WandaVision, they set it up pretty well. I thought actually they were going to pull back, but no, they went all the way with it. And I was like, wow, I can't believe she did that. But I thought it was mostly a well told story. Her motivations made sense. What she said made sense. Granted, there's a little bit of cringe dialogue here and there. And there's a lot within Multiverse of Madness I didn't like. Like, I appreciate that Wong is finally given a lot to do, but I thought it was being disrespectful for no reason. Strange calling America Chavez kid all the time. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, too. And they definitely did things that plot-wise and story-wise didn't make a whole lot of sense. And it does have, yes, some pointless woke moments, like they race-swapped certain characters. That was really silly. But they kept things mostly canonical with comic books. They did change a lot, but the structure of it was very, very similar. And despite what people thought with Captain Marvel and Brie Larson, that these female characters are untouchable, no, they kill Captain Marvel. And she's a black woman. I think they made some pretty good and brave choices. I think overall, it is a good story. They had a good balance between the comics and the adaptation. I think Dark Wanda worked for me, again, on a story basis. We can argue the politics, which, again, I agree, is a little dicey. If you agree with those politics, great. I think it was there, but it wasn't obnoxious. So I appreciated that. On the other hand, I can't agree this is a bad story. In fact, I think this is one of the best MCU stories. I do agree after season 8 we should be vigilant when creators are disrespectful to characters. Even if you don't care about that character assassination on the whole is a bad thing. It shouldn't be allowed. But I honestly don't sense that here. I think people are just being oversensitive, they're being paranoid, or they're just being grifters and are saying they're labeling this the new D&D season 8 disaster. I just don't see that. But don't worry, there's a lot of content out there to hate. I've seen some very good videos breaking down Wheel of Time. I thought the early episodes were okay, but apparently the end of the season, which I did not see, was really, really terrible. It was genuinely horrible. It was very disrespectful to Jordan. It really messed up the mythology. There are legitimate cases of season 8 out there, and we'll get to those. We shouldn't be just labeling everything season 8 if it's not season 8. That's not helpful at all. That diminishes what happened with season 8. So I'm going to have to vote no on this controversy. I don't think Dark Wanda was anywhere close to what they did with Daenerys in season 8. I can see the parallel, but I disagree that it's a legitimate parallel or one that's going to hold up in the long run.